Brothers, the coffee company.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, which former guest David Sellinger.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, didn't he like help start that company?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he told us, and like they brought me a coffee today. It was fantastic.
Really?
But what they talked about was, man, the kids that were running that thing were hustling and had incredible manners. And like, so what you're saying is absolutely true, that like people appreciate that.
Right.
And I think it's kind of sad that it's not the norm, you know, that, and so here's what I'll say about that. Like, what an easy way to differentiate your business these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's simple in many ways. And first of all, it's doing what you say you're going to do and then providing value on top of it. Right. And I mean, those types of things, you know, there's very few things in life that are.
Is that on? Is the volume on?
No,
that?
I'm good now. We're good.
No, I hear it.
Oh, you hear it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm hearing it somewhere.
I don't know.
It's gone now. Sorry. Carry on.
We fixed the sound issues, I'll tell you that. Because there were some sound issues and we fixed it. I think that there are very few things in life that are more personal than your home.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of people are like we just moved, right? We just moved, and we use some of your services to do so. And it was one of those deals where people were like, it's probably really good because you got to declutter or whatever. I was like, we didn't declutter. We put everything in a box, and we might possibly declutter whenever we get to where we're going next. But like, no, we put it all in a box because it's our stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. Have either of y'all watched 1883? The
What
show?
is that? Is that the new like Yellowstone spinoff?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Okay,
no.
well, it's fantastic. But there's a moment in the show, and I'm gonna give it away. But there's a moment in the show where like some stuff gets destroyed.
Spoiler
Right?
alert.
And trust me, a lot of stuff gets destroyed in this movie, this show. So it's not too much of a spoiler. But some stuff gets destroyed. I think it's like episode 4 or 5, and they're devastated. They're absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
And it's like, because they brought everything they had with them on this journey. And whenever it comes to like your personal stuff, like there's not I paid for that. I chose that bed. I chose that table. I chose that couch, right? Not to mention all of the pictures on the wall and all of these sorts of things. And so for you to come in and basically you put your hands on everything, the intimate drawer, right?
Yeah.
Like all of the things, right?
Yes.
You put your hands on everything, and there is something very vulnerable about that. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts about like that, and like your experience with people as far as like them going, yeah, I'm going to just give you full rights to do all of, like, touch all my stuff and move it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, some people get a little too comfortable. What I mean by that is I'll call and say, hey, how's the move, or how's the packing going? Oh, good, we're at the movies. We're getting some dinner.
Wow.
Well, okay, well, I'm glad you're that comfortable.
Yeah.
Enjoy your evening.
Yeah, enjoy your evening.
We didn't do that.
Yeah,
We
but
were
or
like-
I'll get calls, hey, can you call the customer because we're trying to get this question figured out. They're not answering the phone. Like,
Yeah.
are they not there? No. They just probably left, didn't they? No, they've been gone for a few hours.
Jeez.
I appreciate that y'all trust us so much. But,
Yeah.
They have questions. It's not
Yeah.
a big issue. I mean, I love that. But sometimes, our crew has questions that need to be answered, and they can't answer those questions. They have something they not sure if they should pack or not pack.
Right.
But that's probably what I see is I get a lot of people that are pretty comfortable about it.
Yeah.
The ones that want packing, they're comfortable with us packing up everything.
Sure.
Most people are okay with us packing up, the stuff that came from their grandparents or family heirlooms. You get some people that will take stuff on their own with them, but a lot of people are they're fine. Like, hey, you're packing my house. I don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
So we found some things that maybe we weren't supposed to find
Yeah.
in many different ways.
That's a later question.
Yeah, we're going to circle back around to that one.
So I would just say people are pretty comfortable.
Sure.
We get the ones that don't want us to pack up their stuff. Some of them will say, hey, I don't want anybody to touch my stuff. I'm used to packing my own stuff. cool.
Yeah.
We understand.
Is there stuff that you found that you'll be like, I'm not gonna touch that?
There have been some things.
Yeah, like what? I mean, like nothing. I'm not asking anything inappropriate.
He's like, what? Well, I mean, that's what it is. We found some inappropriate things. Well, I remember one move. I was actually a mover on this move when I worked for the last company, and there was a drawer. There was a.
I love it.
Every good story starts with there was a drawer.
Right.
There was a nightstand that we moved, and we heard vibrating in the truck. And then we get into the room and hear more vibrating. I'm like, we open the drawer and we see exactly what it is.
Oh, no.
And so we just leave it there. Didn't want to tell the customer about it. Then I
Definitely don't want to touch it.
Yeah, definitely don't want to touch it. Then there was the Comcast guy was there hooking it up, and he was right next to the nightstand, and we could see his face, and he knew it was in there as well. So eventually I ended up telling her, I think there's something going on in your drawer. You just want to take care of it.
I need to know what like battery company they're using.
Yeah, right.
It's good. It must be an Energizer.
It must be.
Going,
Buddy's not stopping.
No, going and going.
Yeah, we've had that. We found in drawers. We've of course find whatever people use recreationally to have fun. Yeah. We found a lot of that.
Have there been moments where there's like antiques or like maybe like original art or something? You're like, I don't know.
No, I can't really recall anything that we said. Hey, no, I don't. Antique wise, that we wouldn't move. Can't really say.
But you're definitely there's gotta have been some stuff that you're like, guys, this has got to be. You got to really take care of this.
Oh yeah, we've had.
Can you give an example of that?
I know we've had one. This was a while back. It was like probably 4 or 5 years ago. We had somebody move from Trinity over to Durango, Colorado.
Okay.
And they had. I just remember because it's just so heavy. I was actually a mover on that one too. No, I was the estimator, but I was with them. I was pretty involved in my moves. But he had a marble fireplace. It was in different pieces, but just a piece, probably like that big, weighed 50 pounds.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
So that was not fun to move. I helped them, get onto the truck. That's one thing I probably would never forget. We moved. There's a guy we moved from Teeswood. I moved him a few times from Teeswood to Shadow Lake Creek, and then Shadow Lake Creek to Bentwater. And he had just like 4 or 5 wardrobes that were built in the 1700s. Which is cool to see.
Heck yeah.
I have a guy I'm getting ready to move now. It's not really anything too amazing, but it's just this cool. He has a replica of a ship inside of a glass container. It's pretty cool, but
yeah.
Trying to think. I know I've seen some amazing things that I just cannot think of right now. Off the top of my head.
Valuable stuff, obviously.
Oh yeah,
pretty amazingly valuable.
Yeah, I've moved. Who was it? We moved somebody that had a bust of the owner of the Texans. I think they were friends with them.
Oh wow,
it was just random. I guess they said that he gave him out to some of his friends, which was just cool to see.
Yeah.
I've moved. We moved. It's a family by the last name of Biso. They looking up their history or just seeing when we packed up their home. They're a marine, basically like a marine family. They have a marine company. They used to pull ships out of the water, kind of save the ships. I don't know if they're kind of what situation they're in, but you would find like I don't know what it's called. It's some sort of meter that gauges how deep they're going into the water.
Okay,
it's pretty big, pretty thick. They had a bunch of old. I'm really bad at names on things, but a rower or whatever you use to steer the boat. They have one of those.
Yeah, wheel.
Yeah. I guess you can call it a wheel.
Yeah.
I thought that was a more technical name.
There probably is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The wooden wheelie thing that turns the boat.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's got little handles on it.
Yeah.
I've seen some cool hidden rooms. I've had one movie we did recently.
I'm really curious that family that you were moving might have been like some reformed pirates.
Might have been.
Yeah. And they just started legitimate business on the land, but like they used to.
You never know. I mean,
their last
they did
name
move.
used to be Arr.
Yeah, Arr. They did move from it's like roughly 10,000 square foot house, so there might have been some.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
some booty,
some treasure chest.
That's booty.
Pirate gold will buy you quite a bit.
It will. We've done probably like 4 or 5 moves for them at this point.
Okay.
Moving, I think we're supposed to do a move from New Orleans for their mother as well.
Nice.
But they have there's a lot of cool family history for them.
Did they pay you in doubloons?
They did it.
That should have tipped you off.
Right. But I found a genie jar. I don't really know. It's a little.
But meeting them made me realize how boring my life is, or how boring my family. I don't have a family history like that.
Yeah.
Like, we used to pull ships out of and we have this huge family company with newspapers with our father on it. I don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so since we're talking stories, like have you ever, like, what is the, because I know that you don't always pack people. In fact, I would assume most of the time you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. But what are some horror stories of people that are like, we're moving today. You show up at their house and it's ready to move everything, but it just wasn't prepared, right? I'm assuming that there's some pretty bad stories with that.
Yeah, we've
right?
had some of those. I'll actually give you one story just of a move that we weren't able to do just because of how bad it was. It was years ago. It was before I started this company.
Okay.
And she lived over by off of Gosling and 99. I think before 99 was there.
Oh, okay.
The neighborhood over there starts with an M. I think it's McKenzie Park or
that's
Creek.
one of the newer ones over there. Yeah.
Nice, really nice homes. But she had a home kind of back in there, right by I think it's Fox Hollows over there. And she had probably 5-10 acres.
Okay.
And long story short, city was kicking her out, basically buying her land. And
It was like eminent domain kind of a deal.
I believe so.
Okay.
It was either for the neighborhood or for 99. I think it was for the neighborhood. But anyways, I go there. It's just a big field. There's a mobile home here. There's a fifth wheel over here. Then there's like kind of further back. There's 2 back ends of an 18-wheeler, and then she has a few horses as well.
Yeah.
So I talked to the lady, and we're supposed to move everything from. This is just an estimate. So we're supposed to move everything from the mobile home, the fifth wheel, and some stuff from one of the back ends of a 18-wheeler.
Okay.
And so I walk through the fifth wheel. It is jam-packed. Then I get over to the mobile home, and she's an older lady. She said, well, hey, I haven't been in this mobile home in a few months. She pointed to the stairs. Stairs that go up to it are wooden. They broke. Almost broke my hip. I haven't been in there since. So I go inside, and it's ransacked. It's food on the floor everywhere, clothes everywhere. You can smell a bit of a stench, animal of some sort.
Oh my gosh!
And I could see droppings, and I noticed as raccoons had been in there at that point, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Right.
To the point where I had to walk away and say we couldn't do the move.
Right.
And even though the city was paying for it, so the city's paying for it, it's going to be like a $25,000 move.
Oh my gosh!
But even then, I was like, I can't do it.
Right.
Just not. I'm not the first company to deny her.
Right.
So apparently, it was big of an issue, but big move, but just couldn't risk guys getting rabies.
Sure.
Right. Because it was bad.
Wow.
And of course, I've been into homes that are where they're, I can't remember
Like
words
hoarders
right now.
or?
Yeah, they're hoarders. Where
Okay.
fortunately, I haven't had the bad hoarders that you see on TV where they have
Yeah.
dead rats and it's
Yeah.
filled up to 5 feet tall. I have had it to where we can't see the floor anywhere in the home. Papers everywhere, stuff everywhere. I haven't had to walk away from any of those
Okay.
as of yet. I haven't seen any of those in a while.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, but fortunately, we were able to take care of them. But most of them just been a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just stuff
But
everywhere.
how often do you show up to someone's house to move and their stuff's just not packed?
Used to be a lot.
Okay.
Not much now. But it used to be a lot when I worked for the last company. I don't know why, but people are more prepared now. I feel
You think it's like a communication issue?
It could be.
Yeah.
I think it's that. I know we've had a few times where people didn't pack, and it's more of a communication issue on the customer. The company could reach out and say, hey, we're just following up. We're going to be out here this day. We want to make sure you have these things taken care of. That would fix it, at least being more prepared.
Yeah.
But of course, the customer, if they know that we're coming in just to move and they don't pack anything up, I think it's kind of a communication issue on their end.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, as a company, we know this. This is our profession. We should contact them beforehand.
Right.
Sure.
I feel like now, because we are really big in word of mouth, then a lot of people, we move good people refer us out to other people. So
Right.
people like you that have your stuff together,
Yeah.
if you can't do certain things, like if you didn't want to move yourself, you would let me know.
Yeah.
Or say if it's a situation where we're just moving, you let me know ahead of time, hey, we didn't pack it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just sometimes people just,
We're not ready.
yeah. There's some people who think that they can get more out of it than what they thought. They maybe
Yeah.
can get a free pack or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Some people are just unprepared and just didn't let me know.
Yeah.
They got a lot going on, which I can understand. But we've had a few of those.
Yeah.
Walk in and we're like, what are we doing?
Right.
And it ends up being at 2:00 or we get there and they're packing as we're moving.
Sure.
Which those always take
longer.
forever.
Yeah.
Those end up being 2-3 in the morning moves. We've had moves where we've worked longer than that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
On some.
I mean, do your guys kind of go into those situations going like, okay, this could be a cakewalk, or we could be here till 3 a.m. I mean, they kind of go. Do they kind of go prepared mentally to be like, this could go one of two ways?
I don't think so, because most of our moves go pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I think the experienced guys in the back of their head like, okay, something could happen, or I could get here and it could just be totally crazy.
Yeah.
But they know that we usually prepare the customer.
Well, because you guys go and look ahead of time.
Yeah.
And,
Depending on the size of the home or how soon they give us a heads up, I'll go out there, see everything, give them an exact price for everything, so there's no surprises.
Yeah.
And then let them know, hey, if you want us to pack up, let us know ahead of time. So I don't usually run into those issues. For the ones that we talk to over the phone, still kind of go over the same things. So it doesn't usually happen.
Okay.
I just think it is because we just move probably different kind of people. The company I was with before, they kind of just try to move anybody that would pay for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Paying customer.
Yeah, and they didn't always explain the charges properly, so we didn't always get the right type of customers.
Yeah. They were just hunting for warm bodies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were pricing out a move a certain way, not giving the full price. So then the people that were moving aren't expecting that, and they're not as professional, as prepared. So it ends up coming down on us where we're there till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that, you're talking about like the guys that work for you, which by the way, when you treat people well, they want to stay with you. Yeah. Right. They want to work hard for you. Right. I can tell that your guys are treated well, and they feel well compensated and treated well. So they were delivering some stuff for us, like for the pack, and the guys are like, "Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow." And I was like, "Well, no, you won't, because we're gonna move ourselves. They're just doing the pack." He's like, "Oh, for real?" And I was like, yeah. And he was like, "Oh man, I was like gearing up. I was like, this is a decent sized house. Like, he's got some stuff," and which I really didn't feel like we had all that much stuff, but he was like, "I was geared up for this and everything." He was a cool dude. A couple of them were just really, really cool dudes to talk to, which, I think that speaks volumes to the type of business that you're running. And again, it goes back to vetting people. What kind of vibe do you get from them? Those sorts of things, because at the end of the day, I mean, they are going to be responsible for moving your stuff. Yeah, and that's a big deal. I mean, because here's the thing: like we've had people come in and move us before, and I remember specifically, we really liked the kitchen table we had, and whenever it got put back together, it was like, this didn't. It wobbled. I was like, it didn't wobble before they took it apart. And so I had to go take the legs back off and re-glue some stuff because some stuff got cracked and broken. And it was like they didn't take their time taking it apart. And that kind of stuff happens. And I get that kind of stuff happens. But at the same time, I wish that I would have just been told. Yeah. I wish that I would have just been told, look, hey, sorry, something happened. But as it was, I just kind of took care of it because I was young and dumb, and I didn't even realize that they were probably liable for that. Probably should have had to pay for it or whatever. But that kind of stuff would go a long way, even just the honesty of hey, I didn't mean to. Something happened. It fell off the wall as I was trying to take it off, and it slipped out of my hands or whatever. Right? That kind of stuff. Just being honest about that kind of stuff goes a long way.
Very long way.
So
how do you guys manage that? I mean, you're moving stuff. Something. I mean,
it's bound to go wrong.
Yeah, you can be as careful as you want, and something's going to get broken.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. Not to say that you guys intentionally would do that. No one wants to do that.
Sure.
But how do you guys manage that when someone says hey, this thing got damaged?
So first and foremost, I tell my guys, always let me know if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not going to chew your head off.
Sure.
Just let me know. Honesty is the biggest thing. So first I tell them, let me know, just send me a picture, whatever it may be. The second thing is make sure you're doing your job properly. So things usually don't happen.
Right.
So when something does happen, whether it be told by the customer or one of my guys, depending on what it is, just kind of depends on what we do. So if it's say a scratch to a desk, depending on how they feel, either we'll have somebody come out and fix it, give them a certain amount of money for it, or usually one of those two.
Okay.
Or if they are fine with it, then it's up to them. But we want to make sure we make it right.
Right.
So our goal is to make sure we get your stuff there the way that we found it.
Sure.
Or better.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our guys will try to find a way to fix something they saw that was messed up beforehand.
Maybe it was wobbly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens, actually.
They made it not wobbly.
Yeah. It just tighten up a bolt or something. Moving a chair is like, hey, this chair's kind of wobbly. Let me tighten up this Allen key, the screw over here, and we're good.
Yeah.
But when things like that happen, say a scratch to a table, scratch to a floor, we'll have somebody come out and actually fix it, get it taken care of, or give the customer a certain amount of money for it to actually get it fixed.
Yeah.
Say like a TV gets broken, we'll either try to have somebody come and fix it, depending on what's going on with the TV. TVs are so cheap nowadays, and
they are
so brittle.
Yeah.
That I've learned that if a TV gets damaged, there's like 3 different screens to a TV, 3 different layers.
Yeah.
If the 3rd layer gets damaged, then
Just
if you try to
replace it.
fix it,
Yeah.
it's the same price, if not more, than just replacing it.
Yep.
Regardless of the price of the TV.
Right.
So like situation, we had a customer we moved, and actually I'll tell you 2 stories. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of damages. If we do, it's something very small, like a scratch to a wall or something like that. But when we do, we had a customer had a piano leg. Somehow, I think something happened with the strap, but the piano leg broke. It was not a baby grand. It was an upright piano. The leg broke on it. Guys told me about it. They finished up the move. I called the customer about it and said, hey, I know the guys are done, but I noticed on the piano leg broke. What do you want to do about it? We can get somebody to come out and fix it, or we can take it up to our person to fix it. It's like, I thought I was going to have to argue with you about it.
Nice.
I said, why? I was like, we broke your piano, the leg on the piano. Why would we have to argue about it? It's like, I'm just used to doing that, especially with movers. If they mess something up, I'm used to going back and forth with them. Like, well, we did it. It's our fault. We can't deny it. We moved it. We're going to get it fixed, and we'll let you know the time frame. And she was just so happy about it.
Sure.
So surprised.
Yeah.
Which is, again, surprising that, that it happens in the industry with moving, that something happens, they don't take care of it.
Sure.
Another situation I had where we had a TV get damaged. It wasn't cheap TV. It was a UHD 4K TV. TV got broken. It wasn't really noticeable. It was a crack to the screen, and at first it was working fine, and then he said it kind of started fading out. So what we did was we picked the television, I think the very next day, took it to a repair shop, had them look at it. They said the 3rd layer was broken. It had to be repaired. It'd be $1,600 to repair it, or $1,600 to buy a new TV. So bought a new TV, made sure it all matched up, sent him the information first to make sure it was correct. And then we got the TV delivered, took it to his home, set it all up, and he was surprised.
Wow.
And it's like, just how you do things.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good.
I mean, no, but I mean, look, you have liability insurance too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's one of those deals where your business, probably more than some even, your business relies heavily on word of mouth, right? I mean, I know that people find your business on Google and they find your business through Facebook and all that other kind of stuff, which is where a lot of people find business. But, it's pretty easy for someone to say, yeah, they broke my couch and never fixed it. Like I've been fighting with them for 3 months and nothing, right? I guess I'm just going to be out in a couch, right? That's one type of review that someone's going to go, well, I'm never going to use those guys. Or it was like, yeah, they broke my couch. Someone's going to be like, oh man, that really sucks. It's like, actually, it was great. Like they fixed it and it was done within like a week. And they came to me and told me they did it. Like that's a whole different type of review, because now it's like, oh, well, I expect something's going to go wrong in a move if I'm paying for it. Like I expect something's going to go wrong. And now I know that the company's going to be super honest about it. Like,
yeah, because one of 2 stories is going to get repeated often and loudly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I know that those are frustrating moments for you as a business owner, right? It's frustrating. It's like, dadgummit, like
not the way today was going to go.
Right. Like I know they were trying to, like, this is one of those moments where they weren't fully ready, and so we were trying to rush a little bit, and they tripped over something. They know better than that. Whatever happens, right? And it's frustrating, but at the same time, that person can either leave you a super negative review, or they're going to leave you a review that maybe it's a 4-star review. And the 4-star review says, yeah, they've damaged something, but they immediately took care of it. And I'm really thankful for it. Like, honestly, 4-star reviews are great. Sure. I love 4-star reviews. Like 5-star reviews, unrealistic. They are. I mean, 4-star reviews are the ones that I look at whenever I'm looking at Amazon. I go, okay, these people are being really honest.
Yeah.
They took the time to go, look.
Not just clicking through.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a really good product, but there was this one thing that I wish was a little different. Okay, that's a very honest review, you know? So, I don't know. I think that there's value in that more so than – it goes a lot further than just trying to sweep it under the rug, trying to save money in the end. Like, I don't know. I know that as a business owner, that's frustrating, but
I mean, truth always comes out. I'd rather it come out at some point right then and there by the customer as opposed to letting it. I got a customer tell me today. I was on the phone with her. So yeah, I love my last moving company that I had before, but I went to go move my rocking chair to another spot in my home, and the arm fell off. And she's like, yeah, now I don't want to use them anymore. She was happy with the service, but when she found out that damage happened, obviously it's obvious that they knew about it.
right.
They just stuck it somewhere and said, hey, you know, you'll find it. That can, make or break.
Sure.
You know, if they would have came to her and told her, she wouldn't have even been calling me at this point.
Yeah.
She would be calling them.
Yeah.
The arm on a rocking chair. I mean, that seems like
I don't know how she didn't notice that.
or just, you know, like if you're the moving company, like it seems like something you could fix with glue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
I mean, like
simple.
really, I mean, like if it, I mean, like I get if it's like a family heirloom and you'd be really upset or whatever, but like those rocking chairs, I mean, like those joints just come apart and you can
Yeah.
reglue them.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
So yeah, it's a rocking chair.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's actually one of my favorite scenes from The Patriot,
Oh.
where he's trying to build the rocking chair and they
Uh-huh.
keep falling apart.
Uh-huh.
I love that scene.
Oh, he's a little man. That is a really good scene. That's a good one.
So he was terrible at building chairs. He was great at killing people.
Yes. Hatchet throwing, spot on.
Yeah, stick with your lane, dude.
God, that was a good movie. That's the second movie tonight that I'm like, man, I really think I should go home and watch that movie. You know what the other one was?
What?
So I Married an Axe Murderer. We were talking about the Easter Bunny tonight.
Dude, that's an old
And, like,
movie.
oh, I
Is
know.
that Mike Myers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
so we were talking about,
That's like predating like Austin Powers
I know.
and like all of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Taking it back.
yeah, it is. And so there was this, we were talking about the Easter Bunny, and we were talking about little kids and about how like little kids get freaked out with people in costumes, right? And this person was saying, you got Santa, and Santa's creepy to a lot of little babies, right? They scream. That's why you get these awesome pictures of kids that are like, wow, they're Santa pictures. But it's like worse with bunnies. And I think that what the point was said the head, they're so big. And I was like, it's like an orange on a toothpick. It's like a planet. And it's this classic scene. And so I Married an Axe Murderer, and me and one of our friends, John, we were sitting here talking to each other and laughing back. He was red in the face. We were laughing so hard. I was like, now I need to go home and watch that movie.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And now I want to watch The Patriot. Thanks a lot. I'm never going to go to
So
bed
you'll be
tonight.
up late. Yeah.
I'm going to be up late.
My kids would be freaked out by the Easter Bunny, mostly because I exposed them to Monty Python.
Oh, yeah.
The Killer Rabbit.
Yeah, the Killer Rabbit.
That's scary stuff to a little
Yeah.
kid.
One,
Then you make him
2,
like 4 times
5.
size. 3 star.
3. Oh, 3. So good. Oh, man. What a great movie.
So I never really watched the Monty Pythons.
Really?
No?
Yeah.
You never saw you never saw it, or you just never got
I've
into it?
seen bits and pieces of them.
Okay.
Just scrolling through as a kid when it was
Oh,
on
man.
TV.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, but
Holy
I never
Grail.
actually
So
watched
good.
them.
The Holy
You-
Grail is like, ugh.
I don't think you need to watch any of the other ones because
No.
they're not really worth it.
No.
The
But
Holy Grail, though, that
It's
one's
so
good.
good.
And the old Flying Circus, just like particular skits that because like they're the original SNL. They're the guys that invented sketch comedy,
Sure.
pretty much for television.
if there's one other you might choose to watch, it was maybe The Life of Brian.
Yeah, I'm just not interested in seeing full frontal on dudes.
Oh,
true.
yeah. I don't
just
know.
not
Good on
my
that.
thing.
That's true.
Yeah,
The Monty Python and the Holy Grail was like, it's so good.
it
It is, in my opinion, it is the most quotable movie of all time. And I mean, to think that they made that movie with $5,000,
that
that is insane.
yeah,
You know? So,
and as like a joke.
it's always a complete joke.
The fact it's so legendary, too.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
like,
is.
I think if nothing else, you want to watch it not because you might like enjoy it, but just so like you can be a part of a conversation if it comes up because like it comes up all the time.
It does.
As like just like little sidebar jokes. Like it's almost like everyone knows the same inside joke, and if you haven't seen it, you're like, why is everyone chuckling at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm always left out because I don't really watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're talking about new shows, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't.
Right.
You talk about the new Netflix show, I'm like, I don't know. There's a new show on Netflix. Only time I'll ever watch TV is UFC. If
Okay.
fighting's on.
Okay.
And that's really it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Do you go somewhere to watch that, or do you actually have a TV at home to watch that?
At home.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have a TV.
Okay.
I just don't watch it.
I see. I tell people that all the time. It's like, I don't watch TV. Like, I have TVs.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't really like. I have things that I watch, but like, I'm not. I don't have to be there on Thursday.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, I'm not into it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me ask this question. Is there something that we haven't talked about as far as like moving or anything like that you think we should talk about?
I think we've kind of covered it all.
Okay.
Everybody knows I'm all about customer service and quality. It's all I care about.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge, and I feel like that's the way anybody should run their business. Customer service and quality.
Yep.
Make sure you take care of your customer experience, and the quality is there as well. That's really it. We offer all types of services: moving, packing, unpacking, just loading, unloading. Do some organizing. Not the organizing that the organizers offer. More of like if we're unpacking your home, we can put it in the place for you that you tell us to put it.
Sure.
Organizers, they have a way better expertise than we do. They can look at something and say the feng shui over here is better over here, or however they do it. But in regards to general moving, picking up items, we even had one roofer that asked if we pick up materials. We can do that as well.
Oh.
But our main focus, what we do on a day-to-day basis is moving, packing, and unpacking.
Okay.
That's what we normally do.
Yeah.
Whether it's a senior living facility, we do a lot of those.
Oh.
Whether it's moving,
You moving like individuals in and out of? Okay.
yeah. So there's a place called Avanti Senior Living. We've done a lot of their moves.
Okay.
Move people within the facility, into, out of. We've done a lot of moving people from like College Station, Bryan, Beaumont. So we go outside as well to the other areas around Houston.
Sure.
But
Have y'all done any interstate?
yes, we've done that as well. So moving people in and out of state. If it starts here or ends here, we can take care of them.
Okay.
So how we operate in any move that we do is we're a direct service mover, which means that we start the move in our truck, we end the move in our truck. We don't start the move and have 4 or 5 other homes in that truck, whether it's going down the street or cross country. So it's basically when we get it, we're going directly there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And you're saying that, and like my brain is going, okay, so you're telling me that's something different that you guys do.
it's the other companies offer it, but when people think about moving out of state or out of the area, usually first people's thoughts is the big 18-wheeler truck,
right?
the big Ally.
What is that,
or
like the
Atlas.
Mayflower or
Yeah, the
something?
Mayflower.
Okay.
Grable. They're not in business anymore. But that's what people think about. So they're on the mindset of, hey, you're going to come in with a huge truck. I'll probably be a quarter of that truck. You pick up my stuff, and you'll probably deliver it in a couple weeks to a couple months. So for us, if we load up on a Monday, we'll have it delivered by a Friday, wherever you're at.
Right.
If we are loading on that day. So California will be there in 3 days. Florida will be there, in 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Going to New Orleans, we do that usually and load up in a day, drive the next, we drive the next day and
Like
unload
a
that same
24-hour
day.
turnaround right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get it loaded up, we're going straight there.
So have you guys done California, Florida?
We've, have I done California? Done Florida. Getting ready to do Florida again here soon. I've gone up.
A lot of people moving to Florida.
A lot of people moving to Florida. Yeah, a lot. We've done Florida, different parts of Florida. I want to say Punta Ratona, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Rats Point. I think that's what it meant, which is a bad name for a place to live. We've done Boynton Beach, Miami.
Somebody that named a city that didn't want neighbors.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the whole Iceland, Greenland thing, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I heard what Iceland actually is green and Greenland is ice.
Yeah.
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 Messing with my childhood. Like
That
the whole
was-
time, I'm thinking it's this big brick of ice.
I thought
going to
I knew
Iceland.
you.
Yeah.
No, it's just a ploy.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
It
Didn't want
worked.
anybody going there.
Good old Viking trick.
That's right. I mean, it definitely worked.
It worked.
I mean, so. Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for your time. I'll tell you this though, like before we let you go, we have to do the thing that everybody's still listening to us right now
Yeah.
is waiting for.
Yeah.
Right. which is the most important part of our show,
Yep.
which is
The thing.
the Final Four.
Final Four.
This is the Final Four questions we ask each and every one of our guests, and so you are so privileged.
I'm wasting the chops.
Yes, so this is very, very exciting for all of us. So here's the very first question. Here we go. What's the must-have tool you won't leave your house without?
Must-have tool I won't leave my house. And I'm assuming tool could be
Anything.
a phone.
Anything.
I mean, probably my phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
That is the number one answer.
It is.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, my phone is my life, and it's a shame.
I think it's the true for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it was an interview I heard with Elon Musk not too long ago when someone was asking, like, do you think we'll ever advance to where, like, we're living as androids? He's like, we're doing that now.
I saw that. Yeah.
And I think it was he was giving an interview about he was talking about putting chips in people's heads, and they're like, why? He's like, I don't understand why people are pushing back on, like, you can't walk out without having a phone in your hand or having a smart device on your wrist, or
Right.
and people are now getting glasses.
Or like one of these.
Yeah. What is that? Oh yeah,
The Galaxy Buds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, he's like, you're that way now.
Right.
Like-
I mean, you're literally walking out around with most people multiple GPS
Yeah,
units
we're
on
already
you.
Android.
Yeah.
I mean, basically. Yeah, you have the smartwatch.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Galaxy Buds, which are also GPS.
Right.
You have your cell phone. It's all like we're already pretty much an Android. We're just out putting it
Have-
in our bodies.
Let me ask you: have you guys seen the thing that they're putting on the backs of people's arms now?
Oh, yeah.
It's like injected into the back of your arm so that you can monitor your blood sugar.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I would
I've
never
not seen
put that
that.
thing on me.
I know they have the chips that people are putting into their hands
Mm-hmm.
to keep them from having to hold a card key with them for work. Like when they put the key against the sensor and it
Yeah.
opens the door for them, they're putting some chips in people's hands so you just put their hand in front of it.
What?
I'm out.
For some reason, that's more convenient than just holding a little card.
That
Yeah.
sounds
No.
That sounds less convenient.
Yep.
I had to
Yeah.
go and have a procedure.
yeah.
Nope.
I'm out.
Yep. No, thank you. I will carry a card.
Yeah, I'm fine
No
with
big
that.
deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Crazy. All right. Next question. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's a job you walked away from? All right. So, we know that you changed career, jobs, not necessarily careers, but jobs here. But we also kind of had an idea in our mind whenever we asked this question about like a home job that maybe you started and then you couldn't finish it, and so maybe you called in the big dogs, the plumber or whatever, to finish the job.
Thought you could move yourself.
It's basically like
Right.
a home project that I was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you have one of those, we'd like to
Yeah.
hear it. But if you want to talk about a job that you walked away from, I mean, that would be fine too.
Yeah, I've had a few the outdoor stuff. Like I built a fence. I thought I wasn't gonna do that myself, but I ended up doing it. It's when I start working on my car, which is I love my car.
Yeah.
it's either things take me longer to do it, like change my spark plugs out in my car. I never did that before. And I was having misfiring issues, so I thought it was my spark plugs. Trying to make sure it wasn't my injector. So I ended up changing out my spark plugs, and still had the issue. Ended up changing out my injector, and that was a headache of a job. It took me 4 or 5 hours to do. That wasn't the issue, and then I ended up finding out, turn my car on, and I guess something happened where I think the piston hit the part of my my spark plug, and the ceramic came off the spark plug and went into my engine and bounced around everywhere, and I had to get a new engine.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Which fortunately was under warranty.
Oh,
Oh.
thank goodness.
Yeah, because that's the
That's an
third
old
engine I've had to get
wipe
replaced.
the brow.
Yeah, $25,000 job if you go to the dealership.
Wow.
So that's one. I have done my brakes before. This is before I even really knew what I was doing, and ended up getting on my brakes and they didn't really work, and realizing that I had got a bunch of air in my brakes.
Uh-huh.
And so I did it myself, but I had to get somebody else to help me pump the brakes to get the fluid out.
Yeah.
I've done it before where I've just took it to somebody, had them fix it, but I was like, no, this time I'm doing it myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to fix it myself, save the money, and I end up realizing I'm saving the money but spending so much time on it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Brakes is a tough one too, because like you can typically get the parts for like $40-$60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you go to the guy and you're like, how much is it going to be? It's like $500. You're
Yeah.
like, I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yes, it will take you 3 days. And you will be back and forth to O'Reilly's 29 times.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've had that.
You know?
Yeah, I've had that, unfortunately.
That's the way it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's why we have a DIY calculator,
Yeah.
right?
Let me tell you, that's a business right there that could work on their manners.
Oh, no doubt.
Those people are short with me every time I go in.
Yeah.
What, mechanics?
No, the people at O'Reilly's.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's
I'll
mainly
name
because
'em.
they don't, it's mainly because they don't want you in there.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They don't.
No, they're,
Because they know I'm going to come up there and they're going to have to go look for whatever it is that I need.
yeah. Well,
And
I
it's
think
just annoying to them.
I think it's even more than that. I think it's because they see me walking in and they're like, this guy's a moron. He is going to tell me that he wants brakes, and then he's going to realize that he doesn't even know what model his car is. And
Yep.
so he's going to buy something, and then tomorrow he's going to come back and he's going to blame me for giving him the wrong part. This guy's an idiot, and now we're going to have to deal with him, not today, but tomorrow.
Is this a real story?
You know? No, it's
Okay.
not a real story, but I know that it happens all the time. Like,
he gets
right?
that vibe wherever he
Yeah,
goes.
exactly. The moron vibe.
Must be the beard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Must be jealous.
Yeah, that's what it is.
This
It's
guy
just
with a
jealousy.
good-looking beard coming in.
It's jealousy. What are
Nice
you gonna-
mustache.
Exactly.
Wish I can pull that off.
Little.
Have you
Yeah.
tried?
I haven't tried.
Okay, well then you don't know. Maybe you could.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. I don't know. I don't know if I can grow out my mustache enough to like. How do you just
Yeah.
you start just twisting it up and it just
He sticks his fingers in his ears.
Yeah.
it just starts
Eventually, it just happens. I don't know. I mean,
genetics.
you go look at any of my family and they don't look like
You don't have
this.
mustaches that
No,
Yeah.
no, they don't. So I don't
It
know.
clearly, I mean, because like my dad has like,
The manliest
yeah, and
mustache.
I can't do anything.
Yeah. His dad's mustache makes me look like, I don't know, like Craig.
Yep.
His dad has a great mustache.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is
He's got
what
like
it
the
is.
Sam Elliott walrus twisty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking,
man's
speaking of
mustache right there.
1883, Sam
Oh, is he in
Elliott's-
that?
He's in it.
That's right. Okay.
Oh man, it's so good. You got to go watch it.
I guess
you gotta
so.
go watch it. Yeah, it's worth it. All right,
It's very suspicious. It's got Tim McGraw.
man, it's a lot better than you think.
What's wrong with Tim McGraw?
I mean,
He's a great singer. I don't know that I want to watch him act.
yeah. Well, it's also got Faith Hill in it too, though. So
I love me some Faith Hill.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's that. Yeah.
She's worth looking at.
Yeah, she definitely is.
I will tell you this. She's a lot older in this movie than you think she is. I'm like, you're not as young as you used to be.
So when you start realizing how old you're getting is when
Oh, I
you see
know.
other people and you're
I
like,
know.
wow, they're that old?
They're looking old.
That means I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim McGraw has a pretty nasty
I don't buy into your
beard.
logic. I'm not old.
No, it's
I mean,
true.
old's all in the head. It's all about how you feel. I
is.
like to say wise.
Yeah.
You gotten wiser.
I don't know. Yeah, we can say it if we
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
but it doesn't make it true.
But I realize the older I get in age, I don't get older in mindset. I'm
Yeah,
still like a
that's
big
the
kid.
truth.
Yeah,
Especially guys. I think we're the
yeah,
worst.
I mean, there are plenty of times. Like I remember whenever I got sent home with a baby,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like 31, right?
Mm.
So I'm not young.
Yeah.
I'm like 31. I'm like, who let me take this baby home? What? Who do they think I am right now? Like
No
they don't
manual?
know. They don't know me at all. Like I'm irresponsible to the core. And something about this.
Especially just having two kids together, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. They don't know me at all. I don't know. Who and then I'm like, who let me buy a house? Someone let me buy a house 3 times at this point.
To be fair, they'll let anybody do it.
that's true. That's true. But I'm seriously, I'm like, this is, I don't know. I don't think they know me at all. Which is fine.
They couldn't.
They probably no. They obviously they don't. Right? It's probably good that they don't know me because otherwise I would have nothing.
It's
Yeah.
more responsible for them not to.
Exactly.
That's right. I'm protecting you by you not really knowing who I am. Right? Yeah. It's all right. You're probably like half our age, so it's fine. Whatever.
Probably not. I just don't like to go over my age, though, because, that's when people are like, oh, you're so young or I'm old. Instead
You
of
are
age.
young. There's no
Yeah,
doubt.
I feel like I'm old.
No, not as old as me and Craig. Look at us. Yeah, we're old. Ish.
I don't have the
Very
facial
young.
hair, so
You look younger.
I look younger.
Got the baby face.
Yep.
I'll tell you this. That's part of the reason I don't shave. It's because whenever I do, I'm like, oh.
You
Yeah.
more respected.
Like, oh, I'm 24 again. This isn't good. So, all right. Next question. how do you wind down at the end of a long day?
Usually falling asleep on the couch, waking up at 2 or 5 in the morning and going to bed for, if it's 5 or like an hour.
Wow.
in the actual bed?
Yeah, and then I'm in the actual bed for like an hour or 2.
Okay.
Yeah, most nights.
Yep.
But I
So
mean,
that bed's going to last a lot longer than...
yeah. It's definitely not getting its use.
Yeah.
Well, I usually get in there and then the wife and kids are already in the bed, so I'm like, oh, well.
I don't have a spot.
Yeah.
No room for me.
Yeah, it happened to me last night. I'm up late. My daughter, I'm actually laying in bed, comes in the room. She wants to lay in there. And so I was talking with my wife, and so I told her to go in there and wait, and then I get in there, she'd sleep on the couch. And then she gets in the bed, and then I wake up, and my son's in the bed too. And I wake up, and I'm like, all twisted up. I'm like, how did I get like this?
Right. You know, that's one of the things that like winds up being one of the most surprising things that I can tell someone about me is that I've never, ever had a kid sleep with us in bed, ever. I've got a 9-year-old. She's our oldest. In 9 years of having a child, I've never had a child sleep in bed with me.
Honestly, I'm probably the culprit of that. Because I know when we first had our first, because I have 3 kids. I have 8, 3, and a 2. When I had my first daughter, we, a little bit after, say don't do it, but she slept in the bed with us probably maybe a month after.
Yeah.
We had one little baby thing she slept in. After that, we're like, hey, it's fine. She slept in the bed with us.
Yeah.
And I loved it because I worked so much. Like at the time when I had my first daughter.
That's when you got time with her.
Yeah, I worked so many jobs. I worked, I
Sure.
think, 2 or 3 jobs. There was really no reason to do so. I don't know why. I just like to work a lot. One of those jobs is working for Houston Chronicle at the, it's like you're an independent contractor, so you would pass out newspapers. But a part of that, you would go into a facility, I think at 1 o'clock in the morning, roll up the newspapers.
Yeah.
Depending on which ones they had. So if one home had just a regular newspaper they get for free, or another home had the coupons or had the Wall Street Journal, or another one starts with a U. I can't remember names today, but whatever that was, you had to roll that one up individually, put in a certain color bag, and put all that in your car.
Okay.
So you'll spend an hour or 2 just doing that. So 3 o'clock in the morning, you're probably leaving. 4 o'clock in the morning, you're leaving to pass out newspapers. And so you probably don't get done till 7. So I would love having her in the bed when I was slept for probably a few hours to go to my 1 o'clock in the morning job. And so it kind of just carried over till she got older.
Sure.
And then it was to the point where wife was like, well, she's sleeping at home. But I was like, no, she's asleep with us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not shaming anyone in any way, shape, or form. It's just one of those things that whenever I tell people, a lot of times they're like, really?
Yeah.
Definitely get better sleep. Not
Yeah,
having the
well,
kids
I
in
mean,
bed.
it was just a decision we made early on.
Yeah.
We're not gonna
As
we're not
heartless
gonna-
parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
And-
We can judge you. That's
yeah, no, it's fine. I judge you. So, but it was just one of those things. Like my kids do not know that that's an option.
Yeah.
Well, because it's not in our house.
Once they do it, they're
So-
going to take advantage
yeah,
of it. That's
exactly.
for sure.
Like podcast nights are my kids' favorite night because they know they can sneak in my bed
Yep.
because they know I'm not in there.
Yep.
And they're like walking through the house. They're like, "Is Daddy in here?"
No.
Like, no, he's doing the podcast. No, all right.
Yeah, here we go.
By the time you get there,
I'm
it's too
sleeping
late.
in his bed.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, I even thought about I started looking up mattresses. Like, what's bigger than a California King? Like, I gotta get something big so we can all fit.
What does Shaq have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought it was
so
an Alaskan King, I think.
yeah. So when I lived in the Dallas area, I had some kids I worked with that lived in a little town up there called Salina. It's actually blowing up now. But on the way to Salina, there's another little town called Prosper. And again, these places are not little anymore.
No, because I
They're
moved people
blowing
to
up.
both those places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're blowing up. But Deion Sanders had a house in Prosper, and you had to pass by it to get to Salina. And I don't know if it's true, but there was a rumor at one point that Deion Sanders had a bed that you could sleep 6 people in. Like that was I don't know how they quantify that, but apparently it was a 6-person bed. And I'm like, okay, there's 2 questions I have. 2 questions. Number 1,
Just 2?
there's two main ones.
Okay.
How do you know that 6 people can sleep in a bed?
Uh-huh.
And number 2, why do you have that need? Why is that something that you need? You know, and maybe it's just because he had 7 kids.
I think one person could answer that question.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't the 7
Yeah.
kids part.
No. It probably. I'm not going to ask him. I'm not gonna ask Deion Sanders because he doesn't answer my phone calls anymore. So anyway, it's just one of those things.
Just don't remember where they.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a cool one cool thing that I'm thinking about now that I saw from your question before.
Okay.
Is I went to move a certain NFL player, and one of many things that we saw was pretty cool. But one of them was he had a artwork made of him, and it was like a 3D artwork. So there was half of his helmet. It was him going through a defender.
Okay.
So half his helmet was real. The other half was painted. Half his towel was real, so it was hanging off of the artwork.
Okay.
Half of it was painted. And then other parts of like his shoelaces were real, I believe. Part of it was painted. So it was just cool to see.
Wow. Like actual like game worn type stuff.
I don't know if it was game worn, but I know it was an actual towel that he probably would have used.
Sure.
Maybe he did use it. The helmet, I think it was like a brand new looking helmet, so I don't think he used it. But it was just cool. Had a 3D effect.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
So I guess you could like turn it sideways and it looks like he's coming.
Yeah, you turn it sideways and something's coming out of it. Yeah. But that was a cool one. And that because I'm from Oklahoma, so I don't know why you're smiling like that.
No, I'm intrigued by the
Because
story.
everybody has a joke about Oklahoma or something. Like when somebody mentions Oklahoma, like, oh, I gotta go to Oklahoma. Like, well, I'm from there. Like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's from Palestine, Texas, and he used to play for Oklahoma Sooners. You might know who he is. Legendary player.
Okay.
Didn't know he lived in Houston. I lived in Grogan's Point. Adrian Peterson.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I'm a big Sooner fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And walk in and meet his wife, and then I didn't know whose house it was. So that whole thing, when I saw that piece of artwork, I'm sitting there, we go through to the home, look at the office, and I see that piece of artwork. Like, okay, she's maybe, it's a 10,000 square foot house, 12,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
Maybe, she's successful. Maybe she's a model or something. She likes, football. We walk through the house. We're sitting down at their long 8-foot glass dining room table, which was so fun to move. But I'm sitting there and I just see this big guy just pass me by. Actually, he's not really that big, but
Just beefy.
he's big. See him pass by, I'm like, wait. And then he comes over to me, shakes my hand. I'm like, this is Adrian Peterson.
What?
And he pretty much wants to crush your hand. When he shakes your hand every time, he's like he's putting all his force into it. I don't know if he's trying to test your manliness or what,
right.
but he's like trying to squeeze your hand. It was just the coolest thing. And meeting him, he's like the most laid back guy.
Nice.
He let me drive, or he didn't let me, but he asked me because he had to go to town to drive one of his cars from his house in the Woodlands over to his new home that was over off of Westheimer. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm driving Adrian Peterson's car right now.
That's crazy.
This is cool. And you wouldn't think, but he had like an older Range Rover. He didn't really have a lot of new cars.
Nice.
Seemed like he was at that point at least doing well with his money.
Sure.
But he had like an older, like a 2003 or 2005 7 Series, probably like a 2010 Range Rover. I was surprised to see an NFL player of that stature have older cars.
Sure.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of came to my mind.
Huh.
It was cool to have that experience and be able to meet Adrian Peterson and then
Right.
just be surprised.
Nice.
I was like, maybe she's just a fan of Adrian Peterson or a fan of just football, and I see this guy walk past. I'm like, okay, that's who it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so I actually had something crazy that I found out not too long ago. So I lived for a long time in April Sound. I can say that now because I don't live there anymore.
You don't live there anymore.
So I lived in April Sound, not too far from here, and I had no idea. So everybody had talked about the mansion. There's a mansion on the lake in April Sound, and I've actually still to this day never driven over there to see it, but I've heard it's amazing. But it was RG3's.
Oh,
He just sold it.
I heard about yes.
He sold it for like something like ridiculous, like 2.7 million or something like that. But anyway, it's crazy. I mean, these
Is that guy still playing?
No, I think it's been done.
Yeah,
I think that house was his girlfriend or wife or something. Or there might have been another house, but I know a realtor that actually sold, walked through with him. It was his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend at the time, but he bought her house. I don't know if it was April Sound or what, but I knew the realtor that had.
I mean, it sold
did it
just
for him.
like within the last
Okay,
year.
This is
Yeah.
this is probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so it's probably
it was
different
crazy. It had like 5 pools, and anyway,
It's crazy to think how many players
nuts.
live
Oh yeah.
in this area
Oh
that
yeah.
didn't ever play here, like Adrian
Right.
Peterson, RG3.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah, but RG3, he grew up here.
That's okay.
Yeah, he grew up around here.
I know Adrian Peterson grew up in Palestine, not too far.
So yeah, it's crazy. All right, well, we do have one more question. All right, and here it is. What's one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice that you've ever received?
I feel like I've gotten so many.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. It's a few of them. It's like the things you get taught when you're a kid. Just treat people how you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I kind of that comes to my mind is just treat people with respect, because you never know what they're going through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of gone through some things. I've known people that have gone through a lot worse, and they put on a happy smile.
Yeah.
But you really just don't know what people are going through.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't, until maybe you've gone through it or what. But you don't. That person you're talking to, just being nice to them.
Yeah.
Just smiling for them, doing a nice gesture, opening a door. That can go a long way, because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors or what they're dealing with. I've just had customers open up to me, crying on my shoulder, literally, that I've never met them the day before that, but they're telling me their whole life story, which I love it. It's probably one of my favorite things about my job is just people being comfortable with me and telling me just everything. And me being there, not judging any way, shape, or form, just listening to them, just trying to be an extra ear. But that's probably the one thing I would say. Is just try to think about other people's point of view instead of your own, and realizing they could be going through some things. And if something happens, don't be quick to getting upset at them or trying to get back at them or whatever it may be, or if they cut you off on the road. You just never know. My mom always gave me the mindset of benefit of the doubt. You never know. Like, I'll be on the road driving, somebody cuts me off, I'm like, oh, Mom, they just did this and that. I'm on the phone with her. It's like, well, you never know. They could be on the way, on the rush to get to the hospital. I'm like, Mom, why do you have to say this? Right. And then when I'm out, something happens. I'm like, man, I want to be mad. I'm like, well, it could be this going on. I'm like, Mom, stop. Get out of my head. But it's true. So
I just learned something a lot about your mom. She has a nice voice.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't sound like that.
Did you hear it? Like, he just did her voice.
He changed his voice.
Did he not?
And like when he did, I was like, that's his mom.
That's his mom. I'm
He
like,
sounds a lot better than that. But
I don't know. It's funny. Like, I love that whenever people like change their voice to sound like someone else, I'm like, that's how you think they sound.
It's nothing like what she sounds like, I'm sure.
It's funny stuff. All right. Well, we fibbed just a little bit, and we said there were 4 final questions, but there's actually a secret 5th question.
Okay.
Yep.
And Craig gets to ask this question.
Because I can't remember the other 4.
That's right. That's right.
If people want to get a hold of you, how do they find you?
They find me either Facebook, Robert Green, but there's probably a million Robert Greens, unfortunately. I'm not unique in that sense. So thanks, Mom, for that. But if you want to find me, Instagram, Facebook, Greenlight Movers, at Greenlight Movers for Instagram, or even Facebook. glmovers.com. G is in groovy, L is in light, movers.com. Or somebody told me to say G is in groovy, L is in lovely, movers.com. I think we have some groovy, lovely movers.
There you go.
That's where you find us at. Our phone number is 832-929-MOVE, 832-929-6683. Find us on there. We'll get you taken care of.
Awesome. We'll link all that up in the show notes.
That's right.
So people can find you.
Cool.
And get moved. Because there's a lot of that happening right now.
There's a whole lot of that happening.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, like, a lot of people are doing what I did, which was move out of their house into a storage facility so that they're not in a contingency anymore, and then start looking for what they can buy. And then so you get to move people twice a lot of that.
I just got off the phone with somebody on the way here doing the same exact thing.
Yeah. It happens a lot. In fact, we were looking for a 10 by 30 unit to put our stuff in. And so I called the storage facility that I wanted to use, and she was like, yeah, I just actually had 3 of those, but one lady came in and bought all of them. And
Oh my gosh.
Holy cow, like, how big is this house that they were trying to move? And then I got like into my 10 by 30 and I was like, I should have had 2.
Yes, you should.
Now you understand.
We got it all in there. Craig saw it. We got it all in there, but
That freaking piano.
Oh yeah. The piano. We had a strategic place for it and it fit, but wow. I hate moving piano.
It says never again was going to be doing it again.
I know. That's exactly right. I was like, I said I was never going to move myself again, and here I am moving myself again. So anyway, it is what it is. Well, thank you so very much for coming on the show. It's been great. And if you're looking for a mover, call Mr. Green over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll take care of you.
So, well, thank you guys for joining us. The show.
That's right.
Click the
Thanks for
like,
having me.
click the share, thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff.
Do it.
Come back and join us next week.
That's right.
We'll have a good old homeowner time.
Yes, we will. So thanks for being here. Until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Later.